Hi guys, so I wanted to do a bit of a cheerful video because I'm completely aware that things have been a bit depressing lately on my blog and with my vlogs. Hi Dolly. And and it's been because my mood's been really low and I self-harmed and things like that, and I just wanted to do something a bit more cheerful and positive to cheer you guys up, and so that you don't kind of lose hope or interest in my blog. So I was just going to tell you a few like funny stories from times in hospital and things like that. The first two were from high school, and there wasn't very many I had friends in high school who I still speak to now, and they were amazing, they were brilliant. But there wasn't really that many good memories of it because that's where I was when the abuse was taking place. But I managed to think of a few. There was one time when me and my two friends, I'm not going to name them just in case they're like, why did you tell them? Me and my two friends skipped registration and we ran straight for the school bus. Our head of year sort of caught her halfway, and we just kept running from him, and then he started running after us, and it was kind of like he's actually going to chase her. So we got onto the school bus and it was a double decker, and we went all the way at the top and at the back, and we're like ducked down in the seats. But because he'd been chasing her, he obviously knew where we'd gone. So then he came up on the bus on the top deck, and we were just giggling and like, oh my god. And he was like, get off the bus, go to registration, and then get back on the bus. So that was quite funny, and we all felt a bit embarrassed. Funnily enough, it was only my mum that got a phone call about that incident. Just saying. Another time, I'd started sort of turning to alcohol to cope with what was happening to me, and I'd managed to get some into school, and me and a friend drank some. And I was already in trouble because I lost my homeschool diary, which was like the most important book ever. So yeah, I got told that the head of year was looking for me and he was going to come and speak to me about it. And we were in the art room where I took my textiles GCSE, and I was sort of sat here, and the door was there and it had a glass window in, and I saw him coming down the corridor towards the room. And I was like, oh my god. So I ran into this cupboard that joined the art room to another art room. I ran through and I went to this other art room, and one of my friends had an easel, and she didn't have a canvas or anything on the easel, but I still decided to hide behind it. In my drunken state, I was like, no one will find me here, and he was just like, Amy, get up and come with me. That was bad. I've got a list here, but Dolly's just lying on it. Here we go. So yeah, I've got some memories from an admission before, like my longest admission to Bradford, and I was in our local psychiatric hospital, and it was summer, and I made friends with this girl who was like around my age, and I got home leave, so I sneaked back some vodka. It was quite funny actually, because I had like 2 big bottles of Coke, and she said don't put it in the Coke because they'll sniff it, and I was like right. So what I did was I got a water bottle, filled it not to the top with vodka, and then I just kind of kept it in my hand as if like I'd just been drinking water, and I sniffed the Coke, and obviously I got through with it. So we were drinking, and it was nice and sunny, and we're out in the garden having a few vodka and Cokes, and we got a bit drunk, and the staff were like, we can smell alcohol on the ward, we're going to be testing you, and they never did. But yeah, it wasn't a good mix with our medication. At one point I was sat on the coffee table in the sitting room thinking that there was alligators on the floor. And then we ended up throwing oranges at the ceiling for some reason. And I remember I had my phone with me at the time, and I went on Facebook and I wrote a status about how me and her were throwing oranges at the ceiling, and everyone was like, is she hallucinating? Is that a joke? And I was like, no, we really are. And then obviously, because I was in hospital for so long in Bradford, there's like quite a few memories from there. So first one I was thinking of was when me and Rebecca, who was over on Stop Being Inappropriate with Your Bread, I'll put a link down below for her blog, but she and I decided to play a prank on the staff. So we got we made some like door signs, so for each of the doors in the ward other than the bedrooms, and we stuck them over the original door signs while the staff were in handover. So once they came out of handover, they were like walking around the room, around the ward, and they'd sort of noticed a couple, and then they were all like checking everywhere else and laughing at what we changed them to. We had on the door that came into the ward, we wrote "May contain nuts." On one of the the security cupboards, one of the staff used to store a chocolate in there for when like things got a bit much on the ward, so we called it the chocolate cupboard. We called the meds room the druggies room, and yeah, can't think of any more examples. Hey, what was that? You're ruining the video. Sorry, she's here. I don't know if you can see her because I can't really see very well. Stop it. So yeah, we did that. That was quite funny. And the staff went and like took them all down, obviously. There was another time where that's so rude. I'm talking. Sorry. Yeah, there was another time when the therapist was leaving, and in every session with her we used to have like sweets or chocolates or something. So I was like, I'll do something special for our last appointment, and I got some cream cakes and I got some squirty cream for us, and somehow we didn't finish the squirty cream and I ended up with it in the corridor. The girls, like the other patients, managed to tackle me to the ground and squirt me with the squirty cream all over me. Like one was holding me still, another was tickling me, another was squirting, and the staff came up and they were just like, we'll be confiscating that squirty cream right now. And they took it away to the cupboard, and I was an absolute mess. Like I literally had to get a shower straight after because it was like really sticky as well when it was like sort of drying and not all foamy, and I was just like, ugh. Don't sit there looking at me, please. Another time with my best friend Chelsea, we were in the courtyard where everyone went to smoke, and it had just sort of been like, I want to say refurbished, but that's like a house, isn't it? So is it like landscape gardening? I don't know. The courtyard had been changed, and I noticed on the opposite side there was a massive red button outside of a door, and I said to my best friend, like, what does that do? Because she'd been there longer than me. She was like, I don't know. And I was asking around the ward and nobody knew, and I was like, well, we're gonna have to find out then. And they were like, what? So I went over to it, I pressed the red button, alarms went off all over the place, and it wasn't like the usual alarms for like needing to restrain a patient. It was this massive siren going off all around the hospital. So I quickly ran back to the smoker's bench and sort of sat there looking all calm and innocent. Chelsea was really slow on the uptake, so she was sort of over there for a little bit, and then she ran back and joined me, and the staff started all coming out running, and the member of staff that was monitoring our smoke break was on his little walkie-talkie saying, it's a false alarm, it's a false alarm. And then the next day the ward manager came into a morning meeting, and she was like, I want to know who was responsible for last night's fiasco. She was like, you took time away and it could have been a real emergency and you just pressed that for a laugh and blah blah blah. And Chelsea was like, I'm really sorry, but it was me, and I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again. And she was nearly in tears, and I was just like, it was me as well, but I'm not going to apologise for it because it was funny and we wanted to know what it did. So that was fun. Oh, we got me and Rebecca from the vlog I mentioned before, and we got taken to do the Christmas shop with the occupational therapy team, and we decided to play a game of snot. If you've never played it, it's where someone says snot and each time you have to say it louder and louder and louder than what the other person said it. It was like a game years ago when I was younger. So we were playing that, and in the end the staff were like, we're taking you back because you're not taking it seriously. Oh, I remember when I set my blog up, I did it while I was in hospital, and I remember when I got to my first 100, and Chelsea, my best friend, was literally like 2 doors down the corridor, and I went knocking on her door and I was like, Chelsea, Chelsea, and she came in the corridor and I was like, I've got over 100, and we were screaming so loud that the staff like came running around the corner and were like, oh, it's fine, it's a happy scream. And that was amazing. That's so weird though, to think of all them celebrations for 100 and then where I am now. We once decided to go mattress surfing in hospital, and this girl came who sort of encouraged everyone to do it. She got the mattress out of her room and we all took a running jump at it and slid it down the corridor, and Rebecca and I were probably the worst people at it. Rebecca like tripped over her own feet on the run up to it, and then I just kind of belly flopped down onto it and it just didn't go anywhere. But that was good. We had lots of pen fights as well with the staff, and it was kind of like, it got to the point where as soon as me and this member of staff got our pens out and we were attacking each other, everyone was like, here they go again. And there was a few times he would like lock me in one of the rooms so that I couldn't chase after him with the pen. And there was another time when there was 3 members of staff that were like always up for a laugh, and I sneaked into the staff room and they all came after me. It was just like all in good fun though. And then they were sort of standing in the corridor and one of the staff was like, go on, get her, get her, get her. So they like restrained me to the floor. They were tickling me. I was screaming for help. Everyone thought I was like actually being restrained, so no one came to help me. And I just couldn't stop laughing afterwards, and I was just like, why did no one help? And they were like, we thought you were being restrained. There was one time I was on the phone with my mum, and the member of staff I used to have the pen fights with, he threw an orange at me while I was on the phone. And I was laughing and my mum was like, what are you laughing for? And I went, I'm having oranges thrown at me. And then he went and got an apple and threw that, and I was like, oh mum, I'm gonna have to ring you back. What else? Shaving foam. We were in the security cupboard with 2 of the staff who've been 2 of the ones that tickled me on the floor. And they got some shaving foam, and one of them held me still and the other one squirted all the shaving foam all over my face, and I was an absolute mess. And it was all in good fun though. I was kind of like, I got a bit knocked that it was in my hair, but it was good. And then the last thing I was going to tell you about was the bunny napping incident, because I have, oh they're over there, I've had like hallucinations about rabbits, so I kind of have these jellycat bunnies. I don't know if you've heard of them, and it's a bit embarrassing. Yeah, and they were on my bed, and I was going to the shops with my key nurse, and apparently another nurse said to her, do you think Amy can take a laugh about our bunnies? And my key nurse was like, yeah, probably. Yeah, she's in a good mood and stuff. So Dolly. So we went out. When we came back, one of my bunnies was missing, and I was like, where is he? And okay, bye bye Dolly. Oh, don't go to the toilet. Wow. Sorry. Yeah, came back, my bunny was missing, found it in the office, so I got it back. And then my cleaners was dyeing my hair for me in my like ensuite bathroom. The door was shut, and we heard these two staff going, "I was just doing checks." Came out from the bathroom and my bunny was missing again. And I was just like, right, I'm going to forget about it, because I thought they'll stop if I'm just like, I don't care, whatever, I'm not going to bother chasing you about it. What was that? And yeah, that didn't happen. They started sending me ransom notes from this bunny, like saying that the bunny napper was nicer than I was and they were going to stay with them, and it was just, yeah, it was funny. And I felt like, not just that my recent posts have been a bit depressing and stuff, but I also felt kind of like it's good to show you guys another side to impatient life and to my life. And you know, I'm not trying to like encourage people to go in hospital and be like, look at the fun we had. That's not what I'm doing at all. But I don't know, I just want to show you guys that, you know, you can work hard and you can have a laugh at the same time. In the hospital isn't white jackets and injections. I mean, that happens a lot in some hospitals, but it's nice to have the cheerful moments because you make the most of it. And especially because I was so far away from home, that cheerful moments and joking and stuff, it was really nice. It was a nice break to the day from all the intense therapy. So I hope I made you guys have a little giggle with this. And if you've got any ideas of things you want me to film, like sat down like this, then let me know. Apologies for Dolly's interruptions, but I don't like to edit videos because I think life isn't edited and I want my videos to sort of be my life. So she'll be in this video or she won't be edited out because she is part of my life, and this is what happens when you have a kitten. She comes around when you don't want her to. So, alright, now you run away. I was going to ask you to say goodbye. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. And yeah, let me know down below if you've got any ideas. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new and would like to follow my journey, and check out my blog as well. See you guys soon.